live. I'm
Good.
Yep, we're going live here.
sweet.
I give everybody 5 minutes.
Yeah, so
Tell Janelle
Yeah.
to put it on Facebook. Get
Yep.
it back up.
Now streaming.
Okay.
Great.
we are now streaming.
Good.
Yep, we're going live.
Okay. Are we recording?
I am going to start recording and all right. Todd, do you want to screen share the agenda?
Sure. Yep.
And what I'd like to do is apologize up front for the challenges with the technology. I had a computer crash, and so I had to shift to another computer. So I apologize to everybody listening and watching at home for the delay. And we are ready to begin the board meeting. Dr. Corman.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. You know, these things happen. So I'd like to welcome everybody to the Granville Exempted Village School District Board of Education meeting. Welcome, and hopefully you've been able to enjoy the weather this afternoon and this evening. So without further ado, please join me with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America and to the
republic
republic
for which it
for which it
stands,
stands, one
One
nation,
nation under
under
God,
God, indivisible,
indivisible,
with
with
liberty,
liberty, and justice for all.
Take the roll, please.
Dr. Corman,
Here.
Miss Deeds,
Here.
Mr. Miller,
Here.
Miss Shaw,
Here.
Mr. Wolf.
Here.
Can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
That was Mr. Wolf, then Ms. Shaw.
Okay.
Take the roll,
Mr.
please. Yeah, sorry.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Miss Shaw,
Aye.
Miss Deeds,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Dr. Corman.
Aye. Okay.
Okay.
Will we be
So-
able to do commendations this evening?
Well, I am going to try.
Okay.
Todd, can you stop screen sharing? And we'll see if we can pull this off. Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, was that good for everyone?
Yes, thank you.
So as you can see, we had a lot to celebrate. Obviously, we were hoping to be in person, but for other reasons, we are not right now, trying to do the virtual thing again and continuing to recognize all the wonderful things that are happening in Granville schools, not only athletics, arts, academics, all the things that are happening on a day-to-day basis in Granville schools. So kudos to everybody and the Eagle Scout project that we certainly appreciate. So Whit did a fantastic job of pulling that project to completion. And always good to recognize some of our CTEC students as well. So
Congratulations to everybody, for sure.
So the next part of our agenda is actually the executive session. So what we're going to be doing, and I'm going to explain this. So I'm actually going to put up a little snippet that says we are currently in executive session. Mr. Griffith is going to stay live. I'm going to transition to a different computer and go into the link that Mr. Bernath sent you for executive session. So that will be a separate link. So you're going to exit out of this, and then you're going to rejoin this link when you're done with executive session. Okay. So a lot of jumping around, but Mr. Bernath just sent you another link that you should have for executive session. So you can exit out of this and click on that, and I'll see you in a minute.
We need the motion
Oh,
first.
that's right.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Motion to move into executive session. May I have one, please?
So moved.
Go with
Second.
Cecile and then Fred.
Okay, Fred.
Okay. Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
and Dr. Cornman.
Aye.
And we will return after the executive session. And Todd, I'm going to screen share just the document that says the board is currently in executive session and will return shortly. Do you see that?
Yep.
Okay, everyone else can jump out and I'll be back. Okay, so the board will be coming back from executive session. Mr. Griffith, we are out of executive session at 7:28, so you can document that for the record.
Thank you.
And then Todd, if you want to screen share the monthly financial report, you are next.
Okay.
And then we'll just wait for Fred to jump in,
And Amy.
and Amy.
People want to find us on YouTube. What do they search?
They go to the Granville Schools YouTube channel. So if you type in Granville Schools, you'll get there, and then you can go to that. I put a link in the Facebook to the meeting specifically.
Okay.
The Granville Parents in the Know. And you
Okay.
can copy and paste that YouTube link anywhere. Probably the best is to send that link.
Okay, here comes Fred. And then as soon as Amy is ready, she will join us. Okay, and here she is. So, Mr. Griffith, you are free to begin the monthly financial report.
All right. All right. Start by looking at our cash balances. Compared to last year, we're about 4 million ahead of where we were, which was expected. A lot of that's due to the income tax that we passed, and it's phased in right now. So for March revenues compared to last year, we're down 5 million compared to last year. If you remember last month, we were up 5 million. This is really has to do with timing of our tax payment collections. So we got 5 million more last month. Now we got the other 5 million, where last year we got the whole $10 million during this month. State revenue is down slightly. That's from the state cut that happened for this current year, even though there's some of that coming back, still down from prior year. And all our other revenue is pretty typical of where we'd expect it to be. And that fluctuates. So comparing ourselves like over the year to date, we're up $2 million. Again, this has a lot to do with the phasing of the income tax. We're probably about 2 million ahead on our income tax where we were last year. And that's just because income tax phases in kind of funny over 18 months. which really hits 3 fiscal years. So that's kind of a unique thing. State revenue, we're down again. We anticipated that because of the state revenue cut. All other revenues are about where they were last year, and that can fluctuate. I mean, we really expected to have a lot less interest earnings just because the market for what we are allowed to invest in is very, very weak. But it really has held fairly strong. We, on the flip side, we've gotten BWC refunds that we didn't really anticipate. All right, so expenditures, salaries and benefits. If you remember last month, we were down, I think, I think we spent $90,000 less than we spent in the previous year last month. That's really because we offset July and through February. We offset salaries and benefits with ESSER money. And in 1 month, we basically reclaimed the previous 7 months of history. So now all of our salaries and benefits are built in. It's still, instead of like a wider gap in your actual compared to last year. Like, so if you look at this 47,000, you guys see what I'm talking about? That prior to this month in like January and before was a larger figure. Purchase services and all other expenses are pretty typical of where we'd expect. I mean, those fluctuate throughout. When you compare it year to date, we are spending a little more on salaries and benefits, which we expect. I mean, just due to inflation, raises, steps. Purchase services are down. Some of that's due to ESSER. And all of their expenses, although it looks like it's $3 million more last year, that's all due to the athletics complex and really about $80,000 down from last year. So we've still underspent what our plan was last year by $80,000. And this is our cash reconciliation. Do you have any questions about the monthly financial report?
A couple of things real quick, Todd, not to put you on the spot. First of all, is the first slide was a cash balance slide. Based on your experience with other school districts, what have you seen as a cash balance guideline? Because we're not at the levy point yet, but we will be at some point. And I'm kind of curious your external perspective on cash balance and how we manage that appropriately relative to expenses and so forth.
Sure. I mean, GFOA has a standard that it's 60 days cash. So it's just, do you have 60 days worth of cash in your cash balance at the end of the year? So that's a GFOA standard. Granville, and that's a pretty broad standard. Like for my district, we're fast growth. We tend to have real high cash balances and then they dip real low. And that's because of growth. We have to, and Granville's actually not that different, because if you look at your history, and I only know this from working with Mike prior to, I know a little bit more about Granville history. You're, depending on what season you're in, your enrollment shifts and changes as it goes. And so your cash balances might not always fit into that model of a 60-day cash balance. So you're going to have peaks and you're going to have valleys. And so when you're right now with passing the levy, I think your plan, if I understand it, is you're going to be increasing cash balance for hopefully a few years before you start hitting that downward cycle when you should start levy planning again.
Yeah, that's naturally part of the cycle. You spend down and over the course of the year, there's always a low spot because when the property taxes come in, but over the course of a longer period of time, because property taxes don't adjust up for inflation, that's where you hit the classic levy cycle that we'll be in at some point in time.
Yeah, and just a reminder that this levy cycle is going to be a little different because we went to the community with the income tax and said, we're going to show you that we can manage money well with this new metric as we diversify our revenue streams from just property tax to the income tax and property tax. And through that process, we're going to do it over 5 years, and then we're going to come back and get that renewal. So the next time we come back for
On the ballot.
on the ballot is going to be for a renewal of that income tax that can sustain us even longer before we have to ever get into a conversation about new money. So that is a commitment that we made to this community, and we're going to keep that commitment.
Good point.
And demonstrate how we've been fiscally responsible through a pandemic, which
Absolutely. Yeah.
No easy task.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to just make sure that we put out there is we did get temporary allocations for ESSER 3. We don't have all of the guidelines associated for what can and cannot be used for those funds federally. Our allocation will be, the interim allocation will be $586,000. And the final allocation will be a total of, including that 586, $879,000 roughly, or $880,000 roughly for ESSER funds. To put that in context, because it's based on Title I funding, which is a federal metric, organizations like Heath are getting $2.2 million. Newark City Schools will get about $22 million because they have high Title I numbers in their school districts. Todd, you probably could rattle off what Licking Heights is going to.
4.6, yeah.
Yeah. So just to put that into context of what some other area school districts are getting, again, all of those monies have to be used in a way that is in alignment with the guidance documents that come from the federal government. So once we receive those parameters, we will look for opportunities to offset some of the revenue that we've expended because of COVID.
Yeah, thanks. But for us, that's a big number still, right? That's going to make an influence on our cash balance and even timing of things and so forth. So that's good to know that we got that from the federal government. But is that not this school year? It'll come into next school year, or is there a couple of years after that even we can spend it?
The money will come in, but it will be the window for expending that money is a little bit longer. I believe it's 2024. Todd, do you?
It's 1 year beyond what the ESSER 2 was. So
Okay. ESSER 2 was 2023, so it's 2020.
I think it's
Okay.
2024.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay.
Anything else for me? All righty.
Thank you, Todd. Appreciate it. Okay, so the next.
Can we reshare the agenda, please?
Yep.
Yeah, it's just my COVID report.
Just so we know where we are.
Yes. Okay, you can keep that up for now. All right, so I wanted to give you an update on where we're at in the year. Obviously, we had a big weekend. We were able to host prom for our juniors and seniors only. We had a great turnout. It was a great event. I was able to go over and watch some of the protocols that we had in place to keep kids safe. Every student, as they walked in, had their temperature checked, which was, obviously part of the daily symptom checking. We tried to provide a socially distanced venue, and they were required to wear masks throughout the entire event. And it was, the students had a really good time, and they were very, very compliant with the measures that were in place to keep them safe, and we appreciated that. So we were very happy. We had Keyshawn Bonner, who was named king, and Brooklyn Grady, who is named queen of the prom. So that was fantastic. It was great to see. So I want to give a huge shout out to our staff that participated in planning and coordinating. Some of the people, and I might miss a few, but Janie Weidlich, Ann Barrasso, Vanna McDonald, Julie Bryson, Sarah Van Valkenburg, Carly Worrell, Mr. Durst, Tammy Hamby, our assistant principal, all of them did a fantastic job, as well as the students that set up the environment that supported that event. And if I missed anyone, I apologize. I appreciate everyone giving a lot of time and energy to make that happen for our students. So that's a great thing. And, usually after we talk about prom, we talk about graduation. So I know Mr. Durst will be releasing preliminary details within the next 24 hours to our senior parents related to the graduation activities. I can tell you that it is going to be scheduled as an outdoor event in our brand new Walter J. Hodges Stadium. And if there is rain projected, we will have a secondary plan for coming inside. So, but Mr. Durst will be releasing those details soon, very soon actually. And we're looking forward to having a fantastic graduation ceremony. The next item that I'd like to share with you is in collaboration with the Licking County Health Department, we will be offering students an opportunity that students who are 16 to 18 years old as of April 27th, the opportunity to sign up via Licking County Health Department's Granville specific portal and get vaccinated in school that morning. So Licking County Health Department officials and staff, as well as our district nurse and some of our nurses in Granville, will be supporting that vaccination clinic for 16 to 18-year-olds. It will be the morning of April 27th, and Mr. Durst will be sending out a link to those students that are 16 to 18 right now. It is not going to be an open invitation. It is going to be sent directly to those students that are eligible because of their age. And then the enrollment process and registration process will be done through the Licking County portal that is Granville specific. So just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that partnership and that ability to have students get their vaccine and vaccination at school on April 27th.
The Licking County Health Department has been great in partnering with all the school districts in Licking County, right? And that system definitely engages the parents as well in part of that registration process and things like that. So if your 16 to 18-year-old has not had a vaccine and you choose to, there's a chance we can make it a lot easier for you.
Exactly. Thank you, Thomas. The next item that I just wanted to make sure that people are aware of.
Wait a minute, Jeff.
Oh, yes.
Will there be a second vaccination clinic for the
Yeah.
follow-up? Because this will be Pfizer in 3 weeks, right?
Yes, it will be 21 days. It might be 22 depending on availability of vaccine, or
Right.
23. There's a window there, but yes, we will hold the second vaccine clinic as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, great clarification. Thank you. Next item I wanted to share with you is that we have released our community survey. As you know, about every 2 years, we release a community survey to take the temperature of the community related to the schools and our operation. It has questions about our academics, fiscal, operations, and we use that information, that data, to try and drive our continuous improvement process and our metrics internally. We do look at every question, comment, we disaggregate it in ways that help us better understand what the community is saying about our schools. And it is a critical piece to the administrative and teacher planning process. So I wanted to make sure everybody was aware of that. And Mr. Bernath said that he would put the link in the YouTube chat for people who are interested in completing that survey. It is not just a parent survey, it is an entire community survey, so that we have a variety of different stakeholder perspectives. I believe that the village and the township have also agreed to send out that communication via their networks and social media platforms. So we're hoping that we can get support from more people to give us as much information from the community. Any questions about that? Okay, the last thing that I want to share is obviously coming out of COVID, there are a lot of things that we are looking at as an organization to try and make some changes if necessary moving forward. One of the things that has been problematic for many years is the middle school has had a 9-period day and the high school has an 8-period day. What that does is create competing bell schedules and the inability for us to share staff more efficiently and for students to take and have experiences at both levels. So typically, there are times where we have to share for Spanish or French or a foreign language or, a science class or an accelerated math class. Having a consistent bell schedule will allow us to do a better job of being more efficient and potentially add some opportunities for students from an elective standpoint. The other thing that we are moving forward with is trying to, several years ago, we went through a reduction in force and we lost personnel in our library spaces and project centers. And we're trying to work on a plan that is cost effective in getting some personnel in those environments, because we know that literacy and media are so critical in the research process for our students. So we're continuing to work on that. But it is something that I wanted to make sure that we talked about and that Mrs. Ormond will be communicating through the scheduling process moving forward. But that alignment is going to be significantly advantageous for our students and staff moving forward. The other change that is part of that is moving from 2 periods of ELA to 1 period. We will still have a 2-period option for students who are in need of additional English language arts instruction, but that ELA will mirror what happens at the high school now currently. So just wanted to make sure that people were aware of that change and that we're moving forward with that alignment 7-12. And that is my COVID update. If you look at our numbers right now, our numbers are relatively low. We have been averaging around 5 active cases, either in person or remote learners. And we've maintained 0 staff being ill for several weeks now. So that's a significant positive as well. So we are continuing our layers of protection. We are continuing to keep our masks on and encourage social distancing as much as possible. But again, we're holding steady at about 5 a week as far as active cases. Any questions?
Could you remind us about plans for next year and when those will kind of be announced or finalized and things like that? I know we need to be reactive to whatever conditions are present and so forth, but talk about kind of the timeline and what your expectations are for the next school year.
Yeah. So my goal is to be ahead of where we were last year, based on the guidance. So my expectation, if at all possible, is to release information prior to the May board meeting or at the May board meeting, so that parents have a clear understanding of what it is we're going to offer students moving into the 21-22 school year. Our goal is to try and get back to normal as much as possible. I think we've done that better than most have in the state. And I think we can build upon that success and do it in a way that maximizes the academic, athletic, and arts environment, but do so in a safe manner. But I'm hoping that we're going to target more of the May timeframe versus July.
Great. And I just will echo, I mean, every time you see something on the news about kids now just returning to school or maybe just going to return to school this year, I'm so thankful for, all the hard work that's gone into a fantastic school year this year, despite all the challenges we've had. So
thank you. Our staff and our students have been phenomenal. We are very lucky.
Any other COVID report related questions for Jeff? Okay. should we move on to board discussion? We don't have a specific topic outlined. I would like to, later in the agenda, we will be voting on an item to renew Mr. Brown's contract. So I wanted to take a moment to thank him for wanting to continue to work in the district, because it's, you know, leadership matters, as we all know, and I've been very happy to have him in this leadership role, and all that he has done through, you know, always, but, you know, it's been a particularly challenging year, and I am very pleased with the way we've been able to do all that we've been able to do. So, and so, you know, I'm very happy that he would like to extend his contract, which was going to originally be up in about 1.5 years. So he'll be extending it to 5 years total. So I just wanted to thank him for wanting to continue to work with us over the next 5 years. Yeah. Any other hot topics for the board discussion?
I'll reflect on that one other comment that Jeff made about the middle school. I mean, first of all, switching to an 8-period day at GMS, just going to help that whole facility. There's been just a lot of friction with transition between the schools, and we've been doing so much better with that. But this synchronized schedule is going to help significantly for students and for staff flexibility and for a number of things. So that's great. And the fact that we're able to offer some you know, unique electives and things like that is great. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that implements next year.
Anything else? No? Okay. Moving on to board reports.
And by the way,
Oh.
Dr. Corman, we did not have any public comment. So
Oh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I totally just jumped right over that, didn't I? Oops.
That's okay, but we didn't have any.
Okay.
So,
I apologize for that. Thanks for jumping in. And now we'll move on to board reports. And Thomas has something from the Operations and Resource Committee.
It was really great to be a part of that, and Fred, chip in if you have any comments because you serve on this committee as well. I was just really honored to be amongst a great group of community members, people that really understand all aspects of our school district. And thanks to all of them for joining. There must have been 15 people involved, and that's just great feedback to get. The agenda was covered a number of different subjects, from transportation, where we've had some heroic work this year on making busing work, a little bit of a talk about what's might be for next year as well. We covered food services, which, you know, with the pandemic has had to adjust significantly. But fortunately, we've got some funding help that's allowed us to be able to continue to serve great food, right? And are relatively unique for a school district. Decisions to be able to only select really high quality food has continued despite the challenges in packaging and serving and so forth. So John Harbaugh has been doing a great job there with the entire food services staff. We also ran through some of the upcoming projects and things like that from a capital perspective. Summer is always a busy time, and it was good for this group of community members to get an overview of some of the things that are up and coming and some of the things that have happened recently, in addition to some of our big capital projects. I'll also say that there was one other item discussed, which is really starting to think about, like, you know, building construction standards looking forward, right? And whether we can have, you know, some conversations at some point in time. And I think there were people that were concerned about the, you know, residential development that might cause additional enrollment. And so I think it was a good comment from that group of community members that it might be worthwhile to start thinking about, you know, what our next steps would look like in terms of facilities and so forth. And we're, you know, nowhere near needing to add a facility, but when that time comes, and it could happen quickly based on development, you know, we need to be able to respond. So that's not a short-term, project, but it's something that we should look at in the coming year, potentially, to start to think about what next facilities are like. And I can't say enough about how successful we were with the athletic facility project, and kind of right scoping that. Right. I think that, you know, we could have spent a ton more money and not really gotten a lot of more functionality out of it, right? And that's not what this community is looking for, I think. And what we have out of that is just a fantastic facility that's so functional for so many athletes. I think in any kind of construction project coming up, having those same kinds of standards is really going to help us out, justify the needs that we have and understand numbers and so forth. So it's a big project, and it's a long-term project because we're not talking about that now, but one that there's a number of community members that are eager to engage in as well. So it was a good meeting. I was really honored to be a part of it. Tanya Sherburne did a great job, and I hope we can continue those meetings. Fred, anything else I missed?
No, I just echo your comments. It's a really great group of folks that are committed to our school district, and I'm excited to work with them. They're very forward thinking, and Tanya did a great job. So it's a really good committee.
Yep.
Okay, moving on to the action agenda.
Okay, the first item is action item 12.01, board adoption, policy adoption. This is the second reading and approval.
So moved.
Motion, thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
That was
Thomas
Thomas
and
and then
Cecile.
Cecile. Cecile was second. Thomas and then Cecile.
Any questions?
No? All right, take the roll, please.
Todd, you're on mute.
Of course I was.
Yes.
Why wouldn't I be? Like, all right, sorry about that. All right, Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Dr. Cornman.
Thank you. Item 12.02 is to rescind some of the previous board policies that were adopted based on the CARES Act.
So moved.
Second.
And Jeff, these are all just logistical little changes in verbiage and things like that and so forth, and temporary changes that have been made. So there's no major policy changes here that can impact students in a significant way.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Any other questions or comments? No, take the roll, please.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Dr. Cornman.
Should I make this? I will be
Yes.
happy to make this, ask for this motion. I would love to have a motion to approve the superintendent's contract to run from August 1st of this year through July 31st of 2026.
So moved.
It was Amy. Do we have a second?
Yeah.
And then Cecile.
So I just want to make a comment as well. Dr. Corman, I appreciate the kind words that you said. I will take you back 10 years ago to when I started in this district. And I said, as long as you're happy and I'm happy, we're going to have a very long relationship. I'm intensely loyal. And I love the work that we're doing in Granville schools because I think it's unique, and we're a lighthouse district where people are looking to us to see how we can continue to improve the educational outcomes for students in a holistic, whole child manner, and still keep that rigor in the classroom content. And I think we're doing a very good job, but we also have built that continuous improvement mentality. And so I'm excited about continuing that work for the next several years. But I will also say that, when I accept a contract, it's also a contract for my entire family. And, I've had two daughters. One has graduated from Granville. One is a junior going into her senior year. And my wife, they have all lived this work with me. And there are many nights where I'm not around, and they are champs. So to my family, I appreciate everything that I'm there for and not for in my responsibilities as superintendent. And I appreciate their support as well as yours.
Any other comments or questions?
It's a big demanding job and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Definitely. Okay, take the roll, please.
Okay. Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Dr. Cornman.
Aye. Yay.
Congratulations.
Oh, you're stuck with me now. All right. Next item is 12.04. This is the approval of the school counselor job description.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, several years ago, we used to call school counselors guidance counselors, and our job description had a lot of that language included in the job description. Times have changed, the name has changed, some of the requirements have changed for the school counselor. And so with Tammy Braebyer's retirement, which is also on this agenda, we wanted to update the job description before we posted the position. So that's what we're trying to accomplish.
So is this specifically for the GIS? Or is this for the whole, all of the counselors?
It's for all of them, but this is really intended for the elementary.
Okay.
Tweak.
Any other questions or comments? Take the roll, please.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Dr. Cornman.
Aye.
Okay, thank you very much. The next item is the 12.05 is the Power School product renewal. And I can give a little bit of information after the motion.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so we have been starting to transition to a platform called Power School. Power School is currently the umbrella company that runs our financial management software, eFinance Plus. And so Brittany started that transition over a year ago. We've talked a little bit about that. They also are now, Schoology is under that umbrella, and we have transitioned to a product called Unified Talent, which is our HR software. Having all of those components under one umbrella helps the organization communicate with one another. So HR communicating with payroll, communicating with the financial management software is advantageous. In the next year or so, we will make a transition to their student information system as well. But that was something that we didn't necessarily want to take on coming out of the pandemic because student information is where the state gets all of their data through EMIS. So we wanted to make sure that we had a broader window to make that transition. Todd is obviously also with EFP at Licking Heights, but they're making their transition to their student information system sooner than we are. But we are going to partner with them in taking advantage with a lot of the training that will occur. We had a meeting today with the superintendent of Licking Heights Power School and myself to just talk a little bit about some of those transition items. I believe your board, Todd, will be potentially approving their contract this week as well. So we're looking forward to having all of those systems talk to each other.
At what point are those kind of either student or parent visible systems that will be changing? Or are these mostly behind the scene things? I know there's integrating this whole system is going to have huge benefits, but I don't know at what point there's kind of some retraining and so forth. What are your thoughts on the modules and when they come out?
Yeah, so when we transition to the student information system in the year 2022, 2023, there is a parent facing side. So the parent portal will go away at that point, and we'll have the ability to have everything done through Power School, which is more of a one-stop shop environment for our parents. And I think that will be significantly advantageous considering all of the different platforms that we operate.
Does that mean like pay for it will go away as well? Like, so that will it get absorbed by the new system?
Well, it will connect with the new system, but
Okay.
will operate in a very similar manner.
Okay,
But it will tie to our fiscal side much better.
Do they have a learning management system as well, or is that?
Schoology is their learning management system.
Okay. Oh, that's great, because that'll integrate extremely well. There's been a little bit of a challenge with the progress book and the other behind the scenes system. So that's great.
So Progress Book will go away, and now everything will be, the grade book for Schoology will be in PowerSchool. And so there won't be double entry on the part of the teachers. I mean,
That's great.
it is much more user friendly, and it's a different type of interface for parents. Parents will significantly enjoy it.
But not till 22-23 school year?
Correct.
any other questions or comments? No? Right, take the roll, please.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Dr. Cornman.
Aye.
Thank you. The next item is the annual renewal of the Global Scholars Diploma Program.
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Cecile was second.
Okay, thank you.
Thomas and Cecile.
The Global Scholars Diploma Program is a partnership with the Columbus Council on World Affairs. We partner with them and offer a program called Global Scholars. Jeremy Hopping is our resident teacher and advisor for our Global Scholars students. There are 3 levels to the program. The cost is about $100 per student, and we cover 50% of that, and then the student has an activity fee or a classroom fee of $50 to offset the cost of that program. But it ties very well into our Portrait of a Graduate and our global language program that tries to build awareness of the diversity and cultures around the world, and it just augments that program.
Any questions or comments?
Fantastic program, well worth it. And thanks very much to Jeremy Hopping for inventing it and driving it. So thanks.
Yep, he does a great job.
That he does. Okay, take the roll, please.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Dr. Cornman.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item 12.07 is the approval of a job description for the experiential learning position to commence in the 21-22 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so this is a position that is kind of a hybrid position to really give students the ability to be self-directed learners. As we talked about the space at GIS and GMS in the COVID report, what we're trying to do is build an opportunity for a teacher to be more of a facilitator of learning, and students being able to bring their passions and pursuits to school and do some significant research around the items that they care about significantly. Experiential learning is critical. Concepts that will be explored and taught in those environments will be things like design thinking, project management, project-based learning, passion projects, 10% projects, all those types of opportunities that we believe go beyond the academic content, but also infuse the academic content into a real world environment. So that's what we're trying to create with this position that we're looking to cultivate.
Any questions?
Let me comment here again. I can't tell you how excited I am about kind of infusing some of this true project-based work into our schools, right? And I'm hopeful this is just the beginning, right? It's a unique opportunity to be able to offer this as an elective at the intermediate school, but I can see a lot of other spinoffs from this, and hopefully a lot of just, cultural influence of this kind of learning. in our school district, because again, like you said, it's in some ways beyond curriculum, but in really it can totally incorporate curriculum in so many different subjects. And I think we've got a great opportunity for that. So I'm very excited about this role.
Excellent.
And Jack signed up.
Good. Excellent. I'm glad to hear that.
Any other questions or comments? All right, take the roll, please.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Dr. Cornman.
Aye.
Thank you. The next item is 12.08, approval of the school age childcare contract. It authorizes me to enter into contract negotiations with Amy Klein for our SAC program.
So moved.
Second.
Was that
Ms. Deeds. That was
Deeds.
Amy.
Yeah.
Thomas and Amy.
Thomas, Amy? All right.
Thomas, Amy, yeah. Any questions or comments? The contract is similar to years past.
Yeah, it will be, yes. And
Okay. Thank you to Amy Klein for wanting to continue to do this work, because I know a lot of parents take advantage of, and and it's a needed service that we're able to help provide. So I appreciate her willing to continue this this service. So other than that, take the roll, please.
Okay. Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Dr. Cornman.
Aye.
thank you.
So
Right.
moving to the consent agenda.
Yes. Seek approval for items A through C. 12 or D, A through D.
So moved.
Do we have an agenda, an addendum?
That's D.
Is
Yeah.
that D? Okay.
Second.
Second.
Thank you, Fred.
Yeah. So the addendum is not necessarily D. We're going to do a separate action item for that, so that because I think on this agenda it's D is field trips. So I will call that out separately. There is an addendum related to the middle school mathematics position that we just hired for, but we didn't get that on the agenda prior to the end of Friday, but it came in today. But we can approve A through D currently. So let me,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah. So we have significant donations coming in, also part of the Memorial Fund that we've been having for several weeks now. We have a new administrator contract for the assistant principal that will be splitting between the elementary and intermediate school. If you remember, Gail Burris came back and helped us out in the COVID environment and satisfied a lot of those assistant principal roles. But we are hiring Tracy Stewart, who has significant experience, not only as a literacy support teacher, but a classroom teacher. She will make a fantastic addition to our school district. We're very excited that she's going to be joining us. Every year we go through some of the hiring process for Granville Christian with utilization of their auxiliary funds. We're going to approve those tonight. We have a couple of non-renewals of some of the COVID-related positions that we hired at the beginning of this year or mid-year based on the social distancing parameters and the need for online learning support for our online learners. So we are going to non-renew those positions at this time for next year. They were one-year limited contracts. We have our master teacher renewals that were identified in the accommodations. We have extended time contracts related to extended service throughout the summer that is outside of those individuals' current contract years. And then I would like to, highlight the fact that Eric Thompson, who is our systems administrator, chose an opportunity outside in the public or private sector and has left us, but we appreciated Eric's service for the many years that he's been in Granville schools. And then I have to highlight the fact that Tammy Braymeyer, who has probably been here, I think 34 years in one school district, lives here, has been a resident. Her family's been a resident here for many years. Tammy has made the decision to retire. So with recognition and appreciation of her service, and we will always do more pomp and circumstance around retirements at the end of the year, but I wanted to make sure that we highlighted Tammy's notification of her retirement. And obviously, we can't say enough about her years of service to this community.
Thank you. Any questions or comments?
Question and maybe comment about the donations. The Granville High School ACEs, where do they primarily receive their funding? As different than the athletic boosters that are supporting the purchase of the John Deere Gator? I don't know what the Granville High School ACEs are.
Good question, Thomas. I didn't know what they were either.
Yeah. They gave us $2,000, so that's cool. Yeah, I'll take it. I don't want to thank them.
I believe that that was a partnership between the athletic department and the
Is it the music?
athletic
Arts boosters?
So I believe the designated fund for athletics is considered the Granville High School ACEs, but I think it's all considered the umbrella of athletic boosters.
Okay.
So I think it's just recognition that
Yeah.
Josh is using some of his funds included with the donation from the boosters, but I would have to double check on that to make sure that that's
Fine.
accurate.
But I wanted to mention it because I'm
Yeah.
really thankful, right, that we have organizations like this that are stepping up, and I hope we can find a way to, recognize them, to continue to drive, awareness in our community. And I would love to have athletic boosters, bumper stickers on that Gator, right? And if you want to join the athletic boosters and support great projects, that should be a rolling billboard for it, because, it's not just Gators, it's so many other things that they do. I hope we can get that recognition to continue to have the community be aware of all the great things that the boosters do for us.
Yeah, we could not operate the athletic department without the booster support.
Yeah.
Period.
And I just have to add, I think considering being under COVID, they've done a tremendous job of being able to support our athletic department and the teams this year. So kudos to the boosters and everyone involved with it.
Absolutely.
One change that I'm going to make to the agenda, I see that Tate Moore also has the winter supplemental. Right now, I think the approval is just for fall and spring. Tate is one of our coaches during the winter, so that would be an adjustment that we'll have to make as amended.
And the extended time contracts are just the typical ones that we do, not relate, and these are not related to COVID anything.
No, there will be other items in May related to COVID expenses, but this is the typical items that we or the typical hiring that we do for the extended time contracts.
Great, thanks. Any
Dr.
other? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Could you let me know who first and seconded it? I missed those.
I think it was myself
Thomas and
and
Cecile, I think.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll say it is anyway.
I wrote it down.
May I ask you a question about the field trip?
Yes.
Is that number D or number D, letter D? Is that instead of the one trip that they've made over the winter holidays?
Yeah, so this was an opportunity for our music department to come together, choir, orchestra, and band. Typically, they're on a cycle of trips. The
Right.
band goes, then the orchestra goes, then the choir goes. And what they wanted to do is kind of catch up from COVID and create
great.
an opportunity where they could all go at one time. And that way, students have the ability to have one of those experiences. So I thought that was an excellent example of collaboration and an opportunity for our students. I think it's also important to recognize that it's within state or within the continental U.S. We are not approving field trips out of the United States for our Global Scholars group right now. We are only doing within the continental United States.
And these are family funded trips.
Correct. Yes, they are.
District, yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Right, take the roll, please.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Dr. Cornman.
Aye.
Okay, the next item is related to the addendum. So if we could get a motion and second for the addendum.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, as I mentioned previously, this is the hiring of Rebecca Nachman, who is going to be joining us in filling Jill Esch's vacancy from the middle school based on her retirement that was previously approved.
Questions or comments? Right. Take the roll, please, Todd.
Okay, Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Dr. Cornman.
Aye.
Excellent, thank you. She is going to be fantastic. We're very excited about her.
Good.
Great.
And that takes us to finances.
All right. Just the financial statement, just our monthly report.
So moved.
Second.
And just a quick comment, Todd, thanks for jumping in on this and doing
Yeah.
double duty and trying to pick up all the history and so forth that feeds into the job as treasurer. You know, being experienced in this area has been really helpful for us making the transition, and we all look forward to keeping in touch even as Brittany gets back. So,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Brittany has actually been tremendously helpful. Like, it helps being good friends with Brittany because she's been great.
yeah.
So she's been not taking time. She's been talking to you.
Oh, I've talked to her a couple times. Yeah, mostly about her misery of having a baby, but she's actually doing great. She's doing fantastic. So is the
That's
baby.
good. Yeah.
Great.
Any additional questions about financial reports?
Now, I'd just like to add, Todd, I wouldn't expect anything less from an Ohio University alum. So,
That's
sorry,
right.
Jen.
Yeah.
I'll let it go.
It'll be a long time before we be able to gloat. So
Yeah, I probably
don't
won't
get to
let it
do
go
that.
for a while. I'm gonna hold on to that victory.
Yes. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, I am a University of Virginia grad, and we lost to OU in the basketball tournament. So just to clarify for those who are wondering what we're talking
It's beautiful.
about.
First round champions, Ohio University.
Yeah.
Dr. Corman, you can call the roll at any moment.
Take the roll, please.
I apologize.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Dr. Cornman.
Oh, aye. Sorry. I have to vote too. At this point, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Anybody? Anybody?
So
I'll
moved.
second that, but I'll also make a quick comment that there was a public comment that came in on the live stream YouTube channel relative to Jeff Brown, and a heartfelt thanks as we renewed his contract. And I know that's not
Nice.
unique in the community. And so that one quick comment came through that I wanted to reflect.
Thanks,
Thank-
Thomas.
Thank you.
Who first?
Cecile, and then Thomas.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Okay. Let me go.
Yes, please. Sorry.
Aye.
Yes.
Ms. Shaw,
Aye.
Mr. Miller,
Aye.
Ms. Deeds,
Aye.
Mr. Wolf,
Aye.
Dr. Cornman.
Aye. Meeting is adjourned.
And I apologize again for the technical concerns at the beginning, and we will hopefully be in person in May.
Look
I hope
forward
so.
to it.
Me too.
Thank you all.
For
Take
sure.
care.
Thanks,
Enjoy
everybody.
this
Have a
Thanks,
good night.
everyone. Good night.